a podcast network. This is the Life.Style.Live podcast.
Faces you know and a team you can trust. Stories that form your heart. Life.Style.Live. Life.Style.Live.
This week on the Life.Style.Live podcast, I talked to editor-in-chief of Hot Rod Magazine, John McGann, as they gear up for a multi-city tour celebrating decades of the tradition. John tells me what auto fans can expect from classic cars to racing and motocross, plus more.
Life.Style.Live.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale, up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Life.Style.Live.
The Hot Rod Power Tour is gearing up for another amazing year, from autocross to high-octane racing. There's so much action on the tour that's kicking off June 9th to the 13th. Joining us now is Hot Rod Magazine's editor-in-chief, John McGann. Hey, John.
Hey, thanks for wanting to talk to us.
Oh my God, thanks for joining us. I love cars and I'm a car enthusiast. But for some of our viewers who might not be as familiar, can you tell us a little bit about what makes the Power Tour such a unique experience?
There's a whole lot to it. It's basically, in a nutshell, it's the largest traveling car show in the world. So you start it and it's a 5-day car show basically, and you start at one place and then you drive all week. The trip ends up being about 800 to 1,000 miles, and but there's 5 stops along the way each day, and it takes you through some of the most scenic parts of the area. Wherever we have the tour, we try to find very scenic roads and little towns to drive through and stop at. So it's you get the experience of a road trip, seeing beautiful scenery in this country, and then hanging out with, thousands of like-minded car enthusiasts.
Yeah, like you said, you mentioned it's 5 cities across the Midwest right now, kicking off here in Indianapolis, which is known for cars. Is that maybe why you chose this space to kick off in Indianapolis? Because the cars is like a huge thing out here. Racing is huge out here as well.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly why. There's, all the race team, NHRA race teams tend to be headquartered in Indianapolis. Plus you got the 500. There's a huge audience, a huge demographic of car enthusiasts in the Midwest. That's our largest reader demographic, is concentrated within the Midwest. So there's that.
And you're a Midwest boy.
I am. Yeah, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. So so I always like to go back to my roots when we go on these trips, because they do tend to be very Midwestern oriented. And so it's always nice to see that scenery again.
This event has been around for a long time. How do you, keep it fresh? And because for years and years people come back, because you have enthusiasts again who have just been around, they're huge fans, but you might have some new folks coming too. So how do you keep it fresh for the people who've been there and also exciting for the new folks coming?
People do want some consistency, so you get that, like the scenery, the road trip aspect, and then we get different generations now. Like this is it'll be the 36th year of the Power Tour, which is crazy. But you'll get people now who were with their kids initially, and now their kids are on the Power
Now they're
Tour.
the adults.
Maybe driving with their dad, when it was dad driving the kids before. So you get that. Plus we have at each venue, we try to have, depending on the layout of the venue, but we try to have things where there's live music, autocross competitions, which is, driving your car as quickly as you can through a set of cones, set out in the parking lot, or drag racing like we'll have at Lucas Oil Raceway. So there's lots of things you can do with your car at each venue. So it's not just park your car and you're just sort of like sitting around all day. So we try to keep it fresh that way, with events, music, different attractions, plus the road trip aspect, which is the biggest draw.
I love that you brought that up because the Power Tour does include everything from drag racing to live entertainment. What does a typical day for participants be like? What could they expect at each stop? I mean, obviously it's different compared, because the different layouts might be different, but I'm going to assume the number one thing is probably to wear comfortable shoes because you'll be moving around a lot.
comfortable shoes. Be sure your car, your cooling system works pretty good. Sometimes these tend to be pretty warm days. And then the venues too, each stop, sometimes there'll be more shade, sometimes not so much shade if we're in a big wide open parking lot.
Sunscreen.
Yeah, sunscreen for sure, a hat, whatever. But yeah, if there's drag racing at the venue, so at Lucas Oil we'll have drag racing, and then the next day also will be at Route 66 Raceway in Joliet. So that's also a drag strip. So if you want to race your car, you'll be able to do that. And so that's kind of the typical day. You'll drive in the morning to the next stop, and then from there, whatever activities are planned for that day. So the following day will be in Fort Wayne, Indiana, at a kind of like, it sounds like a Coliseum Stadium kind of.
Do you have people that will drive from every single day along the route that you go on? Because I would imagine you're like, yes, they do.
Yeah, we do. We have a suggested route. People get that stuff when they register for the trip. And you can follow the route if you want. You don't have to. You can just go straight to the venue if you want to just take the freeways and kind of get there. Some people like to do that. They like to get up early, just go straight there and see what's at the venue. The route that we suggest you follow, sometimes there'll be a lot of traffic, so you can slow down.
But it'll be scenic. Like they'll be able to see a lot, experience a lot.
Exactly, and that's the appeal. So we try to run, like I said, through some small towns and do some really pretty scenic drives. So that's what makes the trip special.
I love that. I think a lot of times people, when they hear about an event like this, they think, oh, it's just for this type of audience or that type of cars, and what you're able to do with an automobile, from racing to just like looking at really classic cars are some of my favorite things to see. There's so much there. So there's literally something for everyone when you go there.
There is, yeah, and it attracts all kinds of different people too, all different kinds of enthusiasts, people who like to drive their cars, or people who like looking at older cars, restored cars. The kids who like, the burnout contests and seeing the autocross, like that's a big appeal too. So, and then we get spectators too along the drive, like people in the area, wherever we're going to be passing through that day, are often aware that power tours coming through their town or down their state route, whatever.
Oh, that's fun.
So they'll sit out in their yards and wave at us as we go by. It's like a big spectacle. It's really fun.
That sounds like a great time. I know it's June 9th through the 13th, and I know it seems like it's a little ways out, but I know these tickets are selling really fast, so you want to get on it. And a little birdie also told me that you guys might actually come to the studio, so I might actually get to see one of these in person.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd love it. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. We can bring some cars. That'd be great.
Oh, you're more than invited. You do not want to miss out on this event. And John, I'll see you in June.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Life.Style.Live. Life.Style.Live.
What an incredible way to kick off the tour right here in Indianapolis. For more action-packed activities, tune in each week on Lifestyle Live starting at 10 a.m.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Lifestyle Live Podcast. Thank you for listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And connect for even more on Facebook and at lifestylelive.tv.
Faces you know and a team you can trust. Stories that form your heart.